Yes, now bless now, people. Don't forget to rest now. Des, ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV, signing in. We listened to Tame Impala. Currents is the record. 13 tunes. Couple of interlude moments. So whether you want to classify it as 13 tracks or not, I guess literally it is. But in my world, not necessarily. It was devoted to my very good friend Mo, who recommended this on the Patreon. Hey, we're off of Jamiroquai for a minute. We're moving on to a couple extra projects. And you know what? This was a fascinating listen because I've seen this artwork float about from time to time. 2015 this was put out. I don't know if this was a debut or whether they put records out prior to this. Due to the quality of this, due to where they are at this point, due to the success of the record, I assume this isn't their debut. Or I call them they because it's a band production, but it's supposedly one person behind this, alright? So one person behind it as far as the production is concerned, one person behind it as far as the instrumentation is concerned. Do you really think that's the case? I find it hard to believe, and that's a compliment to the one person that is credited behind all of this. I do find it hard to believe. I don't know why, you know, but this guy rubs shoulders with like A-list artists, celebrities. There's a lot of questions I have that I can only sort of, you know, go further into my line of questioning, given I've got answers and I don't have answers at the moment. I've had a brief overview, I've not gone into the depths, but this guy didn't just start writing music and become a somebody like to do that. It's not the case. It's not the case, honestly. So 13 tunes. As well as I want to applaud the guy for his craft, for his musicianship, I think the most important and the boldest element and the most impressive aspect of this record is the sound engineering. The production is very good. A little bit magical in a sense that it sort of blinds you a bit. It's very glittery. It's very glamorous. It's very overt and in a sense overbearing. I can see why the general populace can sort of get on with this because it's very polished. It's very polished and theatrical, like the radio pop you are getting. And that only goes on for my questioning. It's like, you write great songs, you create great instrumentation, and not only that, you're like this impeccable producer. It's crazy to me. And as I said once, I'll say it again, it's only the most highest of compliments. You know, I'm very skeptical. I'm very skeptical when it comes to any high degree, any high function, any overt marketing, you know, getting a platinum record and so forth. There's a machine behind that. There's not one person behind that, right? So the production is pristine. It's fantastic. It's gorgeous. Would this record have such a great reception if it didn't have this artwork? That's my second question. The artwork is great. It's eye-catching. It's rememberable. Would people be drawn to this record given that the artwork was something a little more barren, a little bit less, you know, enigmatic and thought-provoking? People in the comments section use the term like psychedelic regular. I think even on the Wikipedia, when I had a quick brief look, it stated like it's barely psychedelic. I think throwing reverb on a vocal and like, you know, fidgeting around with electronic tones, I don't necessarily think that in my world comes down to psychedelic. It's a little bit too safe to be psychedelic in my world, and that goes on to my next statement. It's a very safe record. It's very easy listening. It doesn't really push the boundaries. It exists within boundaries and just accentuates and empowers that which is safe to the highest degree. Okay. Vocals are cool. I think the quirk of the excessive reverb is, I don't know, it's not my cup of tea. The electronic based sound isn't my cup of tea. I don't really like keys and synths. I like guitars and I like organic drums, you know. When I see an act and it's a guy, and I know he gets a live band and whatnot, but let's say, for example, if it sounded like it sounded, but it was a backing track with a guy with a microphone, it looks cheap, looks like a cop-out, it looks like a lack of talent, even though there's been a huge amount of talent being invested in it. It just doesn't portray that organic, primitive factor I want to see in an act. I'm going to rate the record a 5 because it's a good project, but it's not something it doesn't tick many of my boxes as far as what I look for in music, quite simply. If I had smoked a bud and I was in a different mind state and I was going for a walk, maybe I'd rate it something different, but that's not the case. This is me right now in a very dry and grey sort of mindset. The fan base loves him. He definitely has a target market. Those are people who connect and project emotionally upon the music we hear. Those who care about lyrical content. Me, I'm not a lyrical guy, so I don't really care too much unless it's like, you know, something about, I don't know. We listened to Lynyrd Skynyrd recently talking about being an isolated weird guy, then I can back it. But as long as it's elevated in a positive light and not a negative one. A lot of people talk about relationship issues. A lot of younger generation do like this act, as you can see through the commentary. I'm blagged that this act has got as many views. Like, it raises so many questions. I know nothing about this band, but I'm fascinated. Just take that as a positive. On that note, I'm signing out, people. One love. Till next time. Goodbye.